Right then, hi guys, sorry I was just having a look at the chat, scrolling down and all that. Anyway, so, I'm a little bit earlier again today. I swear, every week I swear I'm getting earlier and earlier. I will have to start like coming on at maybe like 5 to again, because I started coming on at 5 to, then I started coming on at 10 to, and now I'm starting coming on at quarter to, so... yeah, I'm going to have to start coming on about 5 to again, but it's so... I always find it so hard to get the right time to eat my lunch, and then obviously have my lunch, and then set up Thursday Talks, and then come on. Because I always miscalculate it, and it means that I'm ending up waiting then, and I can't be bothered waiting, I'd rather just come on. So I need to maybe plan my lunchtime a bit better, and then I can come on more at like 5 to 1 again. Anyway, I can see we've already got a lot of people in the chat, because they are well aware, the regulars, that I come on exceedingly early. So, yeah, I will just have a, I'll give a few shout-outs and that to the people in the chat. So we've got George in there, no crypto or Doctor Who talk today, please, ads. I don't think we're going to have any time for that sort of stuff today anyway. I really do want to try and get involved with the chat a little bit more today if I can. But also I've got a lot of stuff to go through to talk about. Because, again, as I always say, I'd structure the topic of Thursday Talks around what's been happening in my week generally, and that gives me an idea of the topic. Well, this week, well, maybe not the entire week, but certainly the last 3 days, it's just been problem after problem after problem. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but you can probably tell by the tone of my voice, I'm not actually negative about it, or not necessarily going to be talking about it in a negative way. I'm going to be trying to talk about it for what it is, and maybe in a little bit more of a positive light as well. Because, problems don't always necessarily have to be negative. I think there's a huge negative connotation to the word of problem, obviously, that we just give. Just randomly, we just give the word problem like this negative outlook, when it doesn't necessarily have to be a negative thing. Like, for example, instead of calling it a problem, you could say it's a hurdle to jump over, or it's a challenge for me that I can progress through. And I'm starting to try and look at problems in a different way, in that sort of way. So we've got quite a few different things I'll talk about, and I've also wrote down, I'm looking down at my little list here, I also wrote down in capitals, look in the chat. So I'm going to try and look in the chat as best I can while I'm rambling about my problems, and, involve the chat a little bit more, because I know I'm absolutely terrible about it, and I say it every week, but I really do need to try and get back in the chat. So we've got Sean there. So I just got my email from Amazon. My boxes have gone missing. I put hundreds of pounds worth of stock in these boxes. Now, as far as I'm aware, unless this has changed, as soon as you drop it off with UPS, they are insured for the stock in those boxes. So if Amazon, let's say, tell you the boxes have gone missing, or the boxes have, for example, if they've got damaged or anything, I believe that Amazon will reimburse you. I'm not sure on the price they reimburse you at. I've heard from some sellers that it's kind of an average selling price, so they won't refund your cost price. They may refund your selling price. Now, I have to say, I'm not too well up on that, because I've never had it happen myself, and also it's been a while since I actually checked that information over. So don't go off that information completely. However, that's the information I've got to hand currently. Now, I know that if stock gets damaged, as I say, Amazon will reimburse you and stuff. I'm not sure about missing. It may well be the case that if it does go missing, that it's the same procedure, but I'm not 100% sure. You'll want to contact Amazon. Maybe, I don't know whether it's worth contacting UPS. Yeah, it probably is worth contacting UPS, actually, and quoting the tracking number, and just try and see how it plays out. I mean, I don't think it's too bad of a problem. I know it might seem it now, but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get money back from those items. That's what I've heard from so many people. And that's the great thing about Amazon FBA. There's a lot of, there's a lot of negative and stuff, but they will refund you when, things go wrong and stuff like that. So it is quite a positive to Amazon FBA. Thank you for contacting us. We hope this email finds you well. Firstly, we'd like to offer our apologies for the time it has taken us to provide a resolution update on your concern. We understand your concern regarding the missing units of the shipment. Oh, sorry, just scrolled up. To make things right to you and to we have initiated a reimbursement request for the missing units to our payments department. Please note that if we find units in our network with the same FBA code and condition, lost or damaged units, we may transfer these units to your inventory instead. So it looks like you're actually okay there. From what I'm reading, it seems like that's okay. You know, you might be getting a reimbursement for that, or you're at least getting the inventory back from somewhere. So it looks like that's okay. It doesn't look too bad, actually. Peter's in there. YouTube notifications are usually crap. They are indeed. We've got Karin in there. Hi there. We've got John. We've got left hand down a bit. I thought, is that left-handed hummingbird? Left hand down a bit. I'm not sure. Gemma Lou in there. Hi there, Gemma. We've got Mel, Sparrow's End. We've got Sean in there again. Okay, mate. Cheers, ads. Had a good brand too. Shall I try again or give up with FBA? Not a good start with my FBA. Well, it depends if you get reimbursed. I mean, if you get reimbursed or the inventory comes back like it kind of is alluding to in the email a little bit, then you should be alright. You know, just send another box up there. It is, I have to agree with you, it is a very annoying problem to have at the start of an FBA journey. But, you know, with anything like this, if you want it bad enough, you've got to keep on going, keep working through these problems, and just keep going. So if anyone wants to put their problems or questions in the chat today, feel free. I'll try and answer them the best I can. I'm not anyone special. I might not be able to answer or solve your problems, but if you want to put them in the chat, please feel free to do so. Today is all about problems, as we can see. So, first problem I encountered. I think I'm pretty much caught up with the chat, so I'll just ramble for a second. So first problem that I encountered was nothing big, nothing major or anything like that. It was just a return request, and apparently I think it did that auto accept or whatever. I think that's standard these days. Anyway, I had that return request through, and it must have auto accepted it or something, but it did still show up on my eBay, as a notification. So I had that on Tuesday morning. I was like, right, fair enough, return request. I've not had that many returns. Generally, when you're selling antiques, ceramics and stuff, for whatever reason, you just don't get as many returns. I don't know why. Maybe it's... I mean, I suppose if you're just describing it well, and it is quite a one-off item, then people are quite happy, they don't need to accept a return. And there's nothing to test or anything, so it's not like... Well, with most antiques and collectibles, there's nothing to test, so... it's not like you're going to get caught out in that respect. So I had that, and then I was like, right, that's fine. I was doing an online auction at the time. I was busy on that. I was like, right, let's get buying on here, and I was just clicking away, bidding and that. And I had won a few lots on the auction, and I thought, oh yeah, this is good. I'm doing all right. I missed out on a couple of ones that I wanted, but that's always the way. To be honest, I put a bid in very, very close to the end of the hammer. Well, it might have been actually on the hammer, but they didn't accept my bid, and I was like, oh, but I loved it, because what it was this really big, oh, I don't know, 50, 60 centimetres, like 20, 25 inches, something like that. Quite a big, tray. Really ornate along the sides, really lovely serving tray, and it was a silver plate one, all kind of inscribed, had like an inscribed design, on the sort of the middle of it. It was really nice anyway, and along with that was a load of other stuff, and it went for £65 plus commission in the end. Now I wasn't really sure on what to pay for it, because I looked on eBay and they were all over the place, and I couldn't find the exact design, as you wouldn't be able to with something like that anyway. It would be hard to. But, you know, I thought to myself, you know what, I could get 50 quid for that. You know, there was a lot coming in at less than that, but they weren't as nice. So I was like, I'd probably get 50 quid, maybe even more. I don't know, maybe 60, 70 quid. So then I was like, right, I bid up to like, you know, 60 quid or whatever. And then as it was getting close to the hammer, I was like, oh, should I do that extra fiver? And I did the extra fiver, but it was just too late. So, but it was nice that, and I was annoyed that I missed that. Anyway, so I had the return request. I was doing the auction in the morning. Brilliant. Everything going okay. Lot 93 comes up. I'm waiting for lot 94 or something, 95. And then it just freezes on me, my page, and I was scrambling around like, oh God, is my internet okay? Is this okay? Is everything okay? And I went on Easy Live Auctions, because I know this auction house in question has a bidding site on there as well as the, you know, the auction site I use. So I went on Easy Live Auctions, and it froze on there too. And I thought, oh, I don't know what's going on, but I'll give it 20 minutes, half an hour. So I was patient, gave it 20 minutes, half an hour, and it was still messing up. I wasn't particularly in the best mood for no reason whatsoever, really. Just, I don't know, I just wasn't that in the best mood after just, you know, having that for 20 minutes or so frozen. I didn't need to be, I just got, you know, worked myself up into a stupid state, you know. And then I thought to myself, well, that's it, I'm just going out, I'm going to go down to the charity shop, cool off for a bit, come back. If the auction's started up again, I'll just bid on what I can bid on, you know, at that time, and leave it at that. So, basically, I thought to myself, right, I'm just going to scrap that and just go to charity shop. Anyway, I went to charity shop, you know, came back, didn't actually get anything from charity shop, and it was still frozen and everything, and I just basically decided to leave it, so I thought, right, well, that's the auction gone. Anyway, at 4:30, I get an email, or 6 o'clock or whatever. No, it was like 6 o'clock I got the email, but it said on the email about there'd been a power cut at the auction. So none of the lots after lot 93 had actually been done. They're doing the auction next Tuesday. A lot of hassle for them, I'm sure. You know, a lot of sort of problems their end and stuff. You know, it's going to be a nightmare to sort. But I thought, great, you know, brilliant. You know, the auction's still on. Anyway, so I thought, right, that's no problem. I'll collect. I already won 4 lots. So I thought, right, I've already scheduled with my granddad to go down on Wednesday and collect the lots. So I'll just collect the 4 lots I won before 93. And then we'll go back and redo it next week. I mean, I know it's more work next week and I won't be able to list next week as much now, but I'm fine with that. That's cool. It's awesome. Anyway, so, because I'm just happy that the lots were, you know, didn't go on without me, you know, didn't carry on without me, because there was a lot of lots that I really wanted to get, you know, there was a lot of vintage hats that were just awesome, there was loads of silver plate, there was some Art Deco stuff, really nice stuff that I really wanted to get, so I was really happy that it, you know, it didn't go on without me. Anyway, so moving on from that, you know, I think, great, fine, so, you know, I'm sat down, and basically I was listening to some music. Again, I wasn't still in the best mood. I wasn't really bright. You know, I thought to myself, right, it's okay, we've dealt with them issues, it's nothing too bad, it's fine. But, you know, I wasn't in the best mood after that day, because I couldn't achieve what I wanted to achieve. So then, you know, at half 8, I was listening to David Bowie on my computer, just sat there like, you know, I'm not really terribly negative, I'm not really terribly positive, but I don't know where I'm going kind of thing. Anyway, so sat there, and then I get a notification through on my PayPal. Ding, you paid $19.99 to X person. And then a couple of minutes later, ding, you paid £47.19 or whatever it was to X person. So then I think, hang on a minute, I know exactly what this is. You know, I've been in this game long enough to know exactly what this is. This is unauthorized payments, because I did not make any of them payments. So I'm thinking, I said to myself, oh, hell no. That's what I said, that out loud. I said, oh, hell no. And I pressed escape on my keyboard, on my YouTube, and I thought, I'm getting onto PayPal straight away. This is not happening. I'm not in the mood for this today, so I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna power through. So I couldn't get onto a human on the phone because it was after hours. It was, you know, at 8:30 it closes, the human kind of side to it anyway. Or at least that's what it said on the customer service thing. There might be a way to bypass it. But anyway, I went into PayPal, I logged onto my PayPal, I saw the payments and everything and realised, yes, I was right, it's unauthorised payments. and obviously someone had breached my account or something. I don't know how we do it. I'd love to know how we do it, but I don't. And then I basically changed my password straight away, and I went into the resolution centre and disputed the 3 transactions that had come in. Another one had come in by the time I had logged into my PayPal for 55 quid, so it was about 120 or so. There or thereabouts in total. 20 quid, 47 and 55. So I did that and then changed my password, and my unauthorised payment stopped. There was no more. There hasn't been for the last 2 days now. So then PayPal yesterday put my account under a temporary limitation, which I've now got removed today. I've had a refund for one of the payments, which is a 47 quid. I've contacted the 19.99 buyer on eBay, because what we were doing, the hackers or the scammers or whatever, they were using my account and buying through eBay. You know, we were buying things like Xbox, you know, codes for the Xbox, so they don't need to ship them. They just get them in really quickly, and then they've got the product, and that's that, you know? Things like that, so they don't need to be shipped. It's a quite clever tactic, actually. Well, if I say so myself. I mean, if you don't understand your enemy, you've got to admire your enemy. You know, that's, I don't know whether that's an actual saying, but we're putting that down. If it's not an actual saying, that is a bloody brilliant saying I've just made up. Anyway, so after that, you know, I was like, right, that's sorted. I'll probably get my money back. I'm going to open a case on PayPal. Well, I don't know whether I already have, actually, in disputing the transactions, but I'll probably get my money back anyway. And if I don't, it's not about the money, it's about the actual principle of what's happened. It's about the, you know, it's just, you know, it's horrible to think that someone can get into your account and just take your money like that, like siphon it off, you know? Why can't people ask nicely for your money, you know? Like, well, not if, but whenever I get to a point where I've got a lot of money, I have plans for being a I can't say it. Philanthropist. No. Oh, I can't even say it. Philanthropist. Philanthropist. Anyway, you know what I mean. Someone who gives out money and, you know, sets up charities and all the rest of it. That's kind of a plan I have, because I want to give people money. I have no need of money. When I get to 20 grand, 25 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand, I don't need any more than that to live. I don't have any desire for a fast car or a big house or anything. I just quite happily give, you know, a good portion of my income back. A lot of, you know, massive big time investors and stuff have done it. Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, all the rest of it. Because you just don't need an excessive amount of money. I'm really a believer in that. So it annoys me, because I say, well, you know, why can't these people just ask? Why can't they just ask? And if they don't get it, then they don't get it. You know, then they have to work themselves. But just try and go to places that may help you out, you know, if you're really struggling for money or whatever. But they're obviously not struggling for money, these people. They're probably raking it in from these scams and stuff. Anyway, so I did that. I was all fine. Then this morning, I hadn't, but you know, by this morning, I hadn't sorted out the PayPal limitation. And essentially what I got was I realised on my eBay that I can't find an item. I sold an item yesterday or the day before, and I can't blooming find it. So I'm like, for God's sake, this is another problem I got to deal with. So they're my problems this week, really. But obviously, with my PayPal inactive, if I were so to choose to dropship the item, I don't generally dropship items that, you know, you know, can't find or whatever. Sometimes I do. I have done it in the past, but I don't generally do that all the time or whatever. But if I wanted to dropship it, I couldn't dropship it because I can't send payments with my PayPal account, or I can't pay using PayPal. So I couldn't do that anyway if I tried. So I'm like, well, I'm in a predicament there. So what I did was I not rang up PayPal. I went on the live chat and got the you know, temporary limitation lifted. And then, you know, if I still want to dropship the item, I can do, or I can cancel the order or whatever. But obviously then I get a defect, so, you know, dropshipping is a way around. If you don't know, dropshipping is a way around not getting an eBay defect. It's too easy not to get eBay defects these days. If you're getting an eBay defect, then you're not looking hard enough at the ways you can actually avoid doing it. But, yeah, anyway, that's for another chat. That's for eBay's dirty secrets, as I call, like, eBay's dirty secrets. That could be a little chat where I just reel off all the different ways that you can get around the eBay system and stuff. But anyway, so You don't need to know about that. That's for experienced sellers. Not that I am one, but, you know, experienced sellers. Anyway, so, I've learnt so much just from ads going through it. Oh, I know. Isn't it terrible? Isn't it terrible? But I love it. You know what? All I was thinking after I had semi-resolved it on Tuesday night, I was like, bloody hell, this is brilliant. I've had every problem under the sun now with eBay and PayPal. I've had international postage issues, I've had GSP issues, I've had sending wrong items to different buyers, I've had, what's the other one? I've had can't find my items, I've had PayPal receiving limit issues, I've had PayPal account issues, I've had PayPal hacks, I've had eBay going below top-rated seller and then going above top-rated seller. Oh my god, I've been eBay power seller and back and forth from that. I've had so much. I mean, there's loads more that I can't even remember, because you just end up blocking the problems out that you've had, you know, after a while, because you just can't cope with them all swirling around in your mind. But yeah, I'm just starting to think to myself, well, you know what, all this is just making me a more and more experienced seller. And at some point, I'm just going to be unstoppable. You know, I'm just going to be, you know, not to be terribly egotistical, but that's the route that I can see myself, because all these problems are just going to make you stronger and stronger and stronger until you know how to deal with every single one, and you don't ever get really annoyed about them, because you're just like, right, I'll just get on and do it because I know how to solve it. So, you know, like if this happens to me again, I know how to deal with it in a snap of the fingers, literally, and I can just go out, done, sorted, finito, you know, happy with that. So, anyway, that's my problems. I'm very, very sorry for rambling. I will get back on the chat. I'm going to scroll right the way up. I did say I wanted to be in the chat a lot more, so I apologise. Right. Sorry, I'm just going down. Not bad, fifth one. Where are we? I think it's a good idea to go for a walk or something when things get frustrating. I do it to clear my head, regroup, and then get back to it. I do the whole walking situation. My granddad told me that. He said whenever he used to do a lot of like physical work, you know, manual labour and stuff, and whenever, well, I suppose that's counter. I suppose that actually, if he did manual labour and stuff, why would he be going for a walk? Because if he's doing manual labour, that doesn't make... Actually, that now I've come to me, that doesn't make much sense, does it? Because if he's working with his hands and his body anyway, then to relieve the stress, surely you would go for a relax rather than a walk. But he used to say to me anyway, like, I think he was kind of doing manual labour, but he was doing, like, skilled manual labour. So it was like he was fixing printing presses and stuff like that. So he did have to use his brain quite a lot. It wasn't just like, you know, manual labour lugging things around. But so maybe that's why, you know, he used to say to me anyway, like when I was faced with a complex problem, sometimes if I'm really frustrated, I'd just leave it, get a cup of tea and go for a walk or something like that, or go for a walk and then get a cup of tea and then come back to it. And then I was, you know, I found that I could actually attack the problem in a better way. You know, I realised that actually all these cogs were fitting into place. So yeah. Anyway, right then, I don't think there's that much chat I've missed anyway. True, I'm still self-employed, but hoping to be full-time reseller on eBay by 2020 and Amazon. Well, you know, setting yourself a date and going for it and keeping going is a great way to kind of get to that goal and get to that date and get to the thing that you want to do, you know. With me, it was totally the opposite. I just, like, jumped in head first. But that's kind of always how I've been. Bowie, Hunky Dory is a great album. Hunky Dory is it's a good album. I was listening to... My favourite Bowie song is one that is very, very... not underrated, but, like, under-talked about. You know, it's not... And I think even if people did talk about it, I think it would be underrated. It's from one of his first ever albums, which is 1969 Space Oddity. Or, well, it was like his first major album that got him, you know, got the ball rolling with his success. And it's not Space Oddity. One of my favourite songs is Space Oddity of Bowie, but I think it's like been voted one of the best of his anyway, Space Oddity. But it's actually a song on the same album, I believe it's the same album, called Signet Committee. And the words in that, it's like a 9 or 10 minute song, and the words in that are so powerful, like incredible. Like I really like the start of Bowie's career, and then I really like, you know, sort of the last few years of his life, that sort of side of his career. I did like a few of the bits he did in the 80s, you know, Ashes to Ashes, that sort of stuff. But, you know, I mean, I like some of his more poppy stuff, like Let's Dance and stuff. But I liked his more avant-garde kind of way, his more, you know, different, kooky, eccentric songs, you know. So that's like 69, maybe to 74, that sort of era. And then you could even say, like, the mid-90s, well, not mid-90s, but, like, early 90s, that sort of era where he was doing, what was it? Earthlings, is that the album with Looking for Satellites and the rest of it, and what is it, not New Wonder, Little Wonder I think it's called. But yeah, anyway, I like Bowie, and I've not listened to him for ages, so... Oh god, it's going, the chat's going crazy again. eBay are getting rid of PayPal onto what option? They are getting rid of PayPal onto Adyen. I realised that when it came out and when I was speaking about it, I was calling it Aiden, but it's actually Adyen, I'm pretty sure. But they're not doing that till 2022, am I right in saying? 2021, 2022, and they're going to slowly phase it out. But I did hear talks about I don't know, I heard talks that they were maybe slowing it down even more, like the progress towards that. I don't know, like maybe they're extending the time that it's going to take to do it or something. I'm not sure, maybe I'm wrong, but yeah. Sorry, the chat's jumping all around. Adyen, yeah, Adyen, that's it. Maybe it's good that eBay are getting rid of PayPal soon, although sellers and buyers will get a choice when it happens, I do believe. Oh, will we get a choice? Oh, that's good, yeah, because I keep PayPal, you know, I know everyone's going to say to me, well, you know, you can cut out the fee of the credit card, but I'm a kind of guy who just likes, I don't like change. I like things to stay the same. You know, it took me about 6 months to actually, you know, when it said on you know, you'd sell a dashboard, oh, get the new eBay hub. I left that for 6 months before I even clicked get the new eBay hub, and I actually got it. And then what happens with me is when change comes around, I actually really love it. Like, it takes me a very, very long time. I mean, another great example, right, is I've been using Wonderchef Filmora to edit my videos for, you know, 3 years or so now, and I downloaded Premiere Pro at the start of the year, and it's just sat on my computer doing nothing, and only the other day, really, I started using it properly. I did have a little bit of a use of it in maybe April or so, but then I gave up on it. So, you know, with me, it takes so long to get into that new change, but when I do, I like it, but I'd be happy just to keep PayPal. I know we then have to pay the PayPal fees and stuff, but I just like things to stay the same. But then again, once, you know, this new system rolls out and stuff, I'll probably end up loving it, and I'll be like, oh, well, you know, PayPal, why did we ever use that or whatever, you know? But I can't see PayPal going away anytime soon, in terms of, even if, you know, they're disassociated with eBay, you know, completely or whatever. I think that they're still gonna, you know, be a company, be around. We might be a lot smaller company, but I think they're still gonna be, you know, sticking around and stuff for people to use. So, right, anyway, keep your eBay separate from PayPal, change passwords regularly. I know that's a good one, Modernist Style says. To be honest, I've had the same passwords for a long time. They needed to change. I actually had the same password for eBay and PayPal. I've not got that anymore. It's way separate, you're just completely opposite ends of the scale. The passwords mean nothing to me. They're no, you know, it's not birthdays or anything like that. Never do the birthday thing or anything. I've never done that, but, you know, yeah, I really, I changed my, oh yeah, that's the other thing. I did change my eBay password as well. Changed my PayPal, and I changed my eBay. Again, as I say, to 2 completely unrelated passwords, completely separate. But the funny thing is, like, with, oh no, I promised George I won't talk about crypto, so I won't talk about crypto, because if we get down that rabbit hole, I'll be here forever. So, if you got any more questions for me in the chat, I think that's kind of my rambling done about the problems. I'll just get on and just look at the chat. I'll try and be a bit more involved in the chat for the next 30 minutes or so. Just popped in for lunch, break, Subway, fat food. Oh, I really like Subway. Right, here's a good question. Is Subway actually healthy for you? Because I've heard some people say the veg and stuff that they use, like, it's not got many minerals in, or not got many vitamins in and stuff. But I love Subway. I've been there quite a lot. I've not been there recently, but I love it when I go there. You know, they are quite nice sandwiches, to be honest. You know, for what you get, for what you pay, you know, they're quite nice. So, but I did hear from people it's not necessarily like really healthy or whatever, but I suppose it is fast food, isn't it? At the end of the day. Right, let me have a look up here. Yeah, I think that's about it from there, so I'll just jump down the chat a bit further. Ads, what do you think of the new Doctor Who? Please keep the answers brief, or at least try. I don't need to say that. If you watch my last Thursday talks, I think it must have been about halfway through the episode, I did actually talk about my thoughts on the new Doctor Who, so save myself repeating myself, and save everyone in the chat just turning off. Just look at my Thursday talks last week. I gave like a 5-10 minute review of what I thought of the episode and all the rest of it. I think I was talking about I was talking about the first episode because the Ghost Monument hadn't come out yet. But yeah, so just look at that. I also talked a load about crypto and everything last week, so I'm not going to repeat myself. I know George said at the start of the chat, no crypto and stuff today, and I think it's a good idea because I need to keep on track with the reselling. We at least need to have a reselling chat once every now and then, opposed to just Thursday talks turning into this random chat about everything, you know. So I don't mind doing that, but I don't like doing it every week, you know. Right. No, Nigel, no, everyone's saying. I think that's about it in the chat, so I'll just wait for the new question to come in. Oh, wait, no, I think I just got a question. Question, how's everyone's sales? Peter Ray says. Well, I'll tell you how mine are. Mine are okay. I did about 130 yesterday. I did have a few auctions ending though, so that kind of helped things along. Obviously I was taking off quite a lot of stock off my eBay store, so I just rebundled stuff up and did a few auctions, and that was basically the sales from yesterday. So that's quite good, and it reaffirmed my belief that auctions still actually work, you know, if you get the right items. You know, because sometimes people kind of say are auctions dying off a little bit more, and it, you know, is eBay becoming solely buy it now? You know, in terms of, not necessarily solely buy it now in terms of they're getting rid of auctions, but I mean in terms of the efficiency of an auction. You know, is it just not worth doing auctions anymore and just doing solely buy it now? But I think that it is worth doing auctions still, but you've got to have the right stuff. Honestly, it's got to be apparent that you've got to have the right stuff. And then the auctions work brilliantly. They'll just fly off, you know. And it's just knowing what that right stuff is, you know, like, I suppose vintage toys and games and stuff like that will work, you know, video games and Lego and all the rest of it that most of us are aware of. But yeah, it's, you know, I wouldn't say Q4's really hitting me yet, but to be honest, it's only the 18th of October, like, I don't know whether I think I might have touched on this last week or the week before. I'm starting to not consider October in Q4 as much. I know officially it is Q4, but I just don't think it actually like spikes up that much. Really, it's November and December that are big months, and even January, you know, January can be brilliant. So, you know, my Octobers have always been decent, don't get me wrong, they've always been good, but not like November and December, you know. November and December for me are where Q4 really comes into its own, you know. Anyway, we'll have a look in the chat. I'll just go down a bit more. I now have 3 crypto wallets. I'll just go up and see what Sean was saying there. Bitcoin, Redcoin, Litecoin. I don't use Exodus, but I used to use Exodus and then have them all in one place. But a lot of people don't like Exodus because, you know, well, a lot of people do like it, but a lot of people don't like it because of the whole hacking thing and stuff. It can get hacked and stuff. Can use fingerprint on PayPal. Oh, what's that in relation to, Mark? Is that just meaning when you're logging on? Or is that in relation to actually, people can actually hack you using your fingerprint? That'd be interesting if you could do that. You know, that's, well, I suppose it's not interesting, it's quite scary, but you know, it's interesting to know that if people could do that. But yeah, I do the fingerprint thing on my app, but sometimes I just log in as normal as well. Like sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. I used to do, when I was in high school, I had, they had fingerprint things for your lunch money. So it was just changing over when I was about year 9, year 10. And we changed it over from just handing over your money to having these little boxes all around, well, not all around the school, but, you know, about 3 or 4 of them dotted around. And what you'd do is they'd have a fingerprint reader and you put your thumb on it, and then it'd show you your balance, and then you could also put your thumb, they'd have one near the cash register in the food hall or whatever, and you put your thumb on it, and then it would tell you your balance, and then obviously if you got a £2.50 meal, you would, you know, you got £10 in your account, you've got enough to pay for it, and then it goes through, transaction goes through, and then you just had like one little machine to top up. But I remember at lunchtime it was crazy, like people lining up all to check the balances and stuff and to top up. It was like a little it's like a mini bank, you know, it's like a little mini school bank. But yeah, that's pretty cool. But I don't know whether I've really told you this, but I never actually had lunch at school. I was very, very self-conscious of eating. I've talked about this a little bit, but I've not talked about it in extent. I won't talk about it in extent now, I'll just briefly talk about it. But I was very, very conscious about eating. So what I used to do was I'd go into the cafeteria, I'd make sure not many people in my year were in the queue. I'd line up, I'd go and get a little chocolate brownie. Oh, it sounds terrible. Actually, I think I have talked about this before. But I used to get a little chocolate brownie and then walk back. And I used to work in the school library. I worked in the school library for 4 years. And there was this little bit at the back of the library, like the library workers or whatever, used to eat the lunch, you know, me and a few other students. And essentially I'd go there and then just eat my chocolate brownie really quick and then go out, because I was that panicky about eating food. Like, even, like, I remember on a video a while back, it was my first comedy short actually, with the cheese on toast. And I was eating that on camera, and all I was thinking in my mind is, oh my god, what if people say to me like, oh god, you're eating wrong in that video or something. I have this really big fear of, like, unless it's immediate family, I'm okay with immediate family and friends that I've known for a while, and I'm fine, I'll just eat however I want, you know, family and friends. But if I'm out, like, socially with people I don't know, eating is a huge barrier for me. Like, I keep thinking to myself, like, oh my god, you know, how do I eat? You sometimes think, my mind will go blank and be like, I don't know how to eat, and I don't know how I should be eating. Like, if I've got a burger, should I just, like, eat it very slowly with my hands, or should I cut it up? Or, you know, how are people going to judge me? I have a big fear of that, you know, in terms of in my food, you know, and I think that does creep into my anxiety a little bit. It kind of overlaps with that, but yeah. Anyway, that's that. Anyway, I don't know how I even got onto that topic, but we'll leave that. I probably say everything to you guys. Like, I just blurt everything out. Like, you could watch all of the Thursday Talks episodes and know everything about me. Literally, like, just so much about me. But I just don't care. Like, this is a weird thing. Like, you know, I say it like that, as in, you know, I've got something, you know, a little bit of a hang-up with food like that. And I say that I care what people think of me, but I mustn't care that much because I'm saying it on here. I'm, like, broadcasting to everyone, look, that I have this issue. And I'm literally putting it under the spotlight. So I can't really care that much these days about it. But I remember I used to. It was terrible. Do you sell fast on Amazon FBA ads? If so, do you rush to shops to get more? No, I don't do the whole RA thing. I do it a little bit. You know, I do it here and there, but I don't do it loads. My plan is next year to maybe try doing RA a little bit more. Do it more with Lego on FBA. I showed you that piece of paper a while ago on Thursday Talks of my plan for next year. So I'm thinking of doing a bit more RA with Amazon FBA next year. But I don't do the whole rushing to supermarkets and getting stuff and, you know, doing that quite yet. I did do it. I did it, I think, like, 2016. Yeah, sort of 2016. I did do a fair bit of that because prices at supermarkets back then were a lot better. I mean, the discounts. Like, Sainsbury's toy sale has just started, if you don't know. And I'm betting that those discounts aren't very good on the things that I want to, you know, resell. So, yeah, it's just not, the discounts aren't as good these days. 2-3 years ago, 50%, 70%, whatever. You know, I'm talking on Lego sets and everything. Now, in the Sainsbury's half-price toy sale, the Legos, like, 25-30% off when everything else is like 50%, 60%. Now, yeah, you could probably resell a few bits that are 50-60%, but I just like, I'm comfortable in Lego. I like dealing with the Lego, you know, so if that's not enough off, then I'm not going to deal with the other stuff. So it's about knowing your strengths, innit? You know, just doing what you're comfortable with. And I still make mistakes with Lego, trust me. Well, you guys know, because I've told you on videos anyway. Doubled the cost of an Amazon item I have for sale, as I am now the only seller and they are selling consistently. Well, you may as well. I've done that before. I've increased the price a little bit on Amazon. Going to get back to work. I'll be listening ads. TTFN, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. I don't even know what's TTNF. TTNF. Different buyers on the lawnmower and Monopoly. I never use a PayPal app, just log on website to withdraw cash straight to bank account. I mean, I do a bit of both. I withdraw on my app, and then sometimes I withdraw on the website, but I generally do like the issuing refunds and stuff like that. I don't know whether you can issue a refund on the app, can you? I don't know actually, but I do the issuing refunds on, the website, so. We've got Forge Your Own Path in there, Tom, hi there. Oh, we've got Death by Glamour in there, sorry, I did see you before, but I've just been rambling so much, I'm not really doing many shout-outs. We've got, ads, I'm the very same. Is that in relation to the food thing? Maybe, I don't know. Sparrow's End, it's really common to feel self-conscious eating in front of people. You're not weird. I suppose, yeah, I know, it is quite common. It is quite common, but I always think to myself, like, and I think this is the thing, like, everyone who has this will think the same, and that thought is, yeah, but I do it way more, I blow it up way more than anyone else, so I must be really weird, you know, you start to, I suppose this is why you have, groups of people who get together and discuss it, because it then makes you all in harmony with each other, and you think, oh, actually, yeah, I do that, and everyone else does it, all these people do it, so actually, it's actually quite normal. It's not, it's not this really big thing that I only do and I blow up, you know. But yeah, I suppose it is quite common, really. Right, where are we in the chat? Oh, we're not too bad. Look at me today. I'm keeping up with this chat like crazy. It's brilliant. Look at this. I need to do this more often. Oh, I just eat it, lol. People can say what they like. See, there's two sides, because there's people like Peter who are exactly like that. They're not, this isn't even an issue. They just eat. They literally do not care. It's just, and that's what it should be. It should just be something that we do to live, obviously, and we eat it, and we don't care what anyone else thinks, or anyone, I think the best way to get over it is probably just overexposure, and just literally go out somewhere and get like the sloppiest burger you can find, and just shove it in your mouth, and then everyone's looking at you like proper like beaded eyes, looking like piercing into you. And then you're like, oh god, I don't feel comfortable. And then you just take another big bite and you're like, F it, But I think that's what some people, maybe not everyone, that's probably not the cure for everyone, but I know that overexposure can sometimes harm people, but I think that it would be a good way of getting over it. Right then. Bless you, lots of people feel the same, I suppose so. What did you do for dates then? What did you do for dates then? Death by you see, I don't do dates. I thought you were thinking me. I don't do dates. I don't like the, I just don't like the falseness of a date. I mean, I've never been on one. I just know from, TV and stuff, and maybe that's not the best kind of representation of dates, but I just feel like it can be quite false. I mean, I wouldn't mind going on a date with someone I'm already in a relationship with, like a date night and stuff, because we know each other, and it's a lot more natural. It's like literally, it's so natural. But when you're going on a date with someone you just met, or someone you met for the first time, you're in an unfamiliar environment with an unfamiliar person, or someone who's not quite that familiar, and it's all just like, whoa, it just becomes real. Like, whoa, hang on a minute, am I comfortable here? Because for a relationship to really blossom, surely the starting of a relationship has got to be in a comfortable environment for both you and them, and then the relationship will blossom more naturally, right? Am I right in thinking that? I mean, that's just me analysing it, but if you do that opposed to starting the relationship in an unnatural environment, however, you could argue that starting the relationship in not an unnatural environment, but an uncomfortable environment, could actually strengthen your relationship further down the line, because you get used to each other in an uncomfortable environment, and then you're actually growing through that. You know, you're actually your relationship's blossoming despite that or through that. You know, so maybe anyway. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, am I? So, I think it was about a year before I ate in front of my husband. Wow, that's crazy. See, that sounds a bit like me. I would probably, yeah, that's probably similar to what I'd be like. Question, how's the storage unit ads? It's not very full. It's not very full, and I need to get it full. So next week I'm gonna try and bid my best at the auction and get some stuff, but I probably won't get over a carload anyway, because it means going back into, and I can't bother doing that. So, you know, but a carload, that's like 10 boxes or so, maybe 11 boxes. So, you know, that'd fill it up decent a little bit more again. So, I mean, it's like partially full. You know, it's like 30% full, but I've never been able to get it full. I need like a massive haul, you know, I need like a massive haul to really fill it up, you know, but I suppose I could do that with the auction, but well, you know what I'd need to do? I need to go to an auction house, then like the next day go to another auction, and then the next day go to another auction, do like 3 auctions in 1 week, you know, get like 3 or 4 carloads and just whack it in the lockup. That'd work, and then it'd be full, and then I just don't go sourcing for like a month or 2, and then just work through it. That'd be really good time-wise, like time efficiency, but, you know, I mean, auctions don't always fall day by day like that. Auctions aren't always that reliable. You know, sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. You know, some days you can go to an auction and clean up, get loads. Other days you might only get a few lots, you know, because things are being bidded up too high. So, yeah. Anyway, also, they base the percentage off the RRP price, which is usually overly inflated anyway. Well, there you go, exactly. Darren's got it sorted there. Can I sell Lego? Oh, sorry, chat's jumped. Oh my god, where are we now? Oh my god, we're so far down the chat. Can I sell Lego to... Can I sell Lego? Just not merchant. Ah, right. You can't sell Lego. Yeah, that's a common problem. I got contacted by someone the other day, actually, I think, who on Instagram. And again, if you don't already, follow me on Instagram. And don't be sure if you want to direct message me. I try and get back to everyone if I can. But yeah, be sure to direct message me over there. Also, you know, if you're just someone who's just going to be annoying or whatever, like in terms of a spammer or something like that, then I'm not going to respond to you. But generally, I had someone the other day, I don't know whether I've responded to the message yet or not, but I think I had someone, was it? Yeah, I think they said something about like they couldn't sell something on Amazon. They were. Oh no, that was it. It wasn't on Instagram. It was on YouTube. It was on a YouTube comment, and they couldn't sell Lego or something. Or they said to me, "How are you able to sell Lego and Disney?" That was it. How are you unrestricted for Lego and Disney? I said to them, it's because I've obviously been grandfathered in. I've been selling on there 3 years now, sort of very close to 3 years. So essentially what I believe has happened is I've been grandfathered into them categories. Anyway, yeah, so that's that. I just quickly scrolled down. How much do you list in a day? Not enough. Recently, hardly any. I mean, this week I've listed like, I don't even think I've listed anything since Monday. I've literally, like, nothing, because I was dealing with that PayPal, I was dealing with the auction, I went to pick up to the auction yesterday, I was sorting some stuff yesterday, I was doing some sniping yesterday, I was doing, oh, I've got an intro to show you for Thursday Talks as well. I was doing that all of yesterday afternoon. I was learning Premiere Pro yesterday. And yeah, I mean, just none this week. Normally, I aim for 10 a day, but the last 2 weeks or so is a complete write-off. I've hardly done any. Like, not even since Monday. For the last 2 weeks, I've hardly done any, you know? Just the odd bit here and there. I think I did like 15 one day last week sometime, and I did maybe 7 or 8 one day last week or something, but I've really hardly done any. And I took a I took about 200 items off as well to rebundle up, so then I can basically get better listings, you know, listings that are going to sell, because a lot of the items that were on were just stale, you know, were just on there for like a year or two. So I've refreshed them, and as I say, I did some auctions as well. Oh no, I did put the auctions on last week, so I must have done, that was about 10 listings, so I must have done another 10 listings somewhere last week. That might have been in the day I did 15 though. But yeah, so not a lot recently, but I'm going to try and get back at... Oh no, that's a lie actually. Last week, I actually did an FBA shipment of 50 items. So I actually did FBA, so I listed 50 on FBA. So I listed like 50 on FBA last week. I listed about 15 one day on eBay, and maybe like 7 or 8 the next day. So 20 for eBay, 50 FBA. It's not bad, actually. Actually, I'm not giving myself enough credit. It's not too bad, but I forgot completely about the FBA shipment. But yeah. Oh, the FBA shipment, if you would like to know, £1,641 in sales turnover, which is brilliant. Now, profit on that is probably only going to be about £500-600 because FBA fees, and also it's the Lego, which I got for, you know, it was RA, so I'm paying more for it. But still, you know, I take £500-600 off, you know, 50 items, £1,600 turnover or whatever. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. It's pretty decent. So yeah, that's a positive. I forgot all about that. Anyway, we'll get on with the chat. Oh, David McGregor DMs in. Hi there. You tried Bumblebee police auctions ads? I haven't. That's interesting. I have looked into police auctions, like very, very briefly, like literally just looked at a site and just thought, oh, that's interesting. But I've never actually done it, but that seems pretty cool. Breaking news, we ain't leaving the EU. Sorry, had to comment. They are delaying it another year. Delaying it again? Oh my god. Well, to be honest, I'm not going to comment on that. I don't know anything about politics and stuff, really. To me, I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned my thoughts on politics. I just was like, oh, they're just monkeys in suits or something, I said. But, you know, that is my thoughts on politics. I just don't... But, to be honest, is there any other good way of an alternative government? Actually, I think I might have even mentioned a good way of doing an alternative government in that video. So if you want to know that, then... maybe I did know in the past some way of doing that, but I forget all these different ideas. Anyway, where are we in the chat? I think I've got about another 10 minutes left, so... I really want a cheeseburger now. Oh, right, because I said about the burger. When I eat, I get sauce dribbling down my beard. No dignity. There we go. Watch all your videos, and... in one you touched on Paragon China, so I'm at the auction. Some Paragon comes up for £20, bought it and have sold 50% so far for £120. Wow, brilliant. That's Mousehole Fish. Thanks for popping in the chat anyway, Mousehole Fish. Pretty cool name as well. Yeah, so that's brilliant. You know, I mean, some Paragon, you've got to be careful, because I did a bit more research into Paragon, and I realised that, I don't know whether it was Royal Albert or Royal Dalton, but they partnered with one of them, and they traded up until about 1991 with Royal Dalton. Now, some of the later stuff from like 1960s to 1990s isn't as valuable. You want to be getting the earlier stuff, you know, like 1920s, 1930s. Some of that can be worth a bit better money. There's some like teapots and tea sets that go for great money. But yeah, you just got to be careful, you know. Obviously, if it says on it maybe to her, you know, what does it say? Oh, what's it called? By royal appointment to Her Majesty the Queen. Obviously, you'll know then it's after 1953. So you might need to do a bit more research into it before you start taking a punt on it, because, you know, it might not be worth as much. Obviously, some of the stuff, the later stuff, will be worth money, but, you know, not all of it will. Again, with the earlier stuff, some of that's worth money, some of it's not. But, you know, to be honest, I've had a couple of nice Paragon plates from 60s and 70s that, you know, are worth 10, 15 quid. And they are really nicely done. They are... I absolutely love Paragon because it's just... the quality is good. You know, it's not outstanding, but the quality is good. You know, it's a good company. It's a good quality company. Obviously, it's not going now. But I like what it represents. It's the same with Poor Pottery. I like Poor Pottery because the quality of the pieces, the artists they employed, they're great. They are honestly great. Okay, some of it isn't brilliant, but a lot of the Atlantis pieces and the, what we called, Delphis and all that, from like 60s, 70s, that sort of era, they were brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant, absolutely stunning. And I mean, to be honest, I'm quite inclined to like some of the twin tone stuff as well. I know it's not the most desirable, but I quite like it. I like I think it's called the mushroom twin tone or something like that. But no, I just like companies. I like reading up on companies and seeing the story and the people behind the companies and thinking to myself, right, can I get behind what they were trying to do? And were they putting a good amount of quality into their pieces? Were they employing people who loved what they do? And then obviously that comes out in the quality of the pieces. So I kind of like doing that. I like looking at the companies in that respect. And whenever I see a piece of Paragon or I see a piece of Pool Pottery, I always have a little smile. I know it sounds a bit weird or a bit cheesy, but I always get a little smile because I think to myself, well, I know I've read up a little bit about that company. I know some of the artists in that company, not know them personally, but, I kind of read up about a little bit of the history and Pool Pottery, about people behind it and stuff. And I really, I like that, so it always gives me a little smile when I see it, and if I can buy it, then great, And I think that's what this game is all about. It can be as simple as that. Are the items you are buying to resell, do they make you smile? And if they make you smile, brilliant, and if you love dealing with them, that's all that matters, as well as the profit, of course. As long as there's profit in it, as long as they make you smile, brilliant. That's it, you're done. You're fine. There's all these people who try and attain bigger and better things, but really, that base level is all you ever require. Does your job make you smile, and does it make you a little bit of money so that you can live? If it ticks those boxes, for me personally, and for most other people, that should be fine. That should be enough. That should be good. You don't need to, keep going and keep going and keep going and killing yourself for something that really you didn't need in the first place. At least that's just what I feel anyway. So yeah, thanks for popping in anyway, Mousehole Fish. They say, so a big thank you for that. Ads, no problem at all. Question, ads. I have had a nightmare few days, making loads of mistakes. How do I get my focus back? Oh, have you, David? I don't know when you're being sarcastic, though, David. Right, let's assume you are not being sarcastic and you are doing good. How do you get your focus back? I tell you, first off, what you need to do is you need to have a break. That's what I would say. I know this is not financial advice. This is not advice of any kind. I'm just saying what I would do. Have a little bit of a break. Maybe a day, maybe 3 days, whatever. If you want to do a 7-day break or whatever, do that. But really, 1 to 3 day break, little break. And then think to yourself, right, where is this problem? What's this kind of problem that you've got? Is it like a problem with your eBay, or is it a problem, with your friends, or whatever the problem is? Just think, right, where's that problem? And then think to yourself, right, let's get back and let's do it, and find your mojo again. Because for me, I've been in a little bit of a low period the last few months, where I feel like somehow I've lost my mojo a little bit, and it's hard to get it back. It's hard to think, well, how do I get it back? But the thing is, if you're saying to yourself, well, constantly, how do I get it back? How do I get it back? How do I get it back? Then you might not get it back, because you're too focused on just trying to get this back and not actually looking at the entire picture around you. So if you stop focusing on trying to get this thing back, this motivation back, and you just do things for the love of doing them again. After all, we all started reselling because we love doing it, so as well as the money, of course. But if you just think, go back to those roots of just enjoying it for what it is. And don't forget about the motivation, forget about any of that. Just pick up an item, start cleaning it, start photographing it, go back to basics, list one item, that's all you have to do. Go back to basics, clean that one item, photograph it, list it, and then think to yourself, right, I actually enjoy this. This is what I love doing. This is why I do it. And then suddenly you'll be back to photographing 50, 60, 100 items at a time, and then ploughing them on, crazy. So it's just, I think you've got to so these are the steps that I would say. Take a break, focus on where the problem is, and then just go back to your roots and think, right, so say the problem is with your friends, instead of doing lavish things like going out to the best places and doing the best things, don't do that. Instead of doing that, go back to a childhood state and think, right, do you want to play video games, or do you want to go down and play a bit of football or something? You know, shoot a few goals or whatever it is. Go back to basics, and then realise that, oh yeah, right, this is why we're friends, or this is why we hang out, because just doing these basic activities is so brilliant. You know, it's about the person or whatever. In the same way as eBay, you take it back to basics. Oh right, this is why I love eBay, because I get to clean the items, you know, I love dealing with. I get to photograph them in a nice way and set them up all cool and everything. List them for sale, you know, get the ka-ching and think, oh yeah, this is great, I got this ka-ching. And then you sell them, you package them up, they go off, customer receives it 99.9% of the time, they just leave positive feedback. You look at that positive feedback and you think to yourself, yes, I'm there, you see? Yeah, sometimes in life, I think that, like, I know too much. Does anyone else feel like that? Like, I think that for my age, I just know too much. Like, I literally need to be 40 for the amount of stuff I know. I don't know whether anyone else gets that, but I really feel like I just need, I would be in my element if I was like 40 or 45 right now, because like I have the experience to back up what I'm saying, but I know what I'm saying, but I can't really say it and drive it down and drive it home, because I've not got the experience to back it up. But I know what I'm saying is in some way a good way to go, a good route, or if you want to call it the right route to go. But I don't really like to call it right, because in reselling there's not really right or wrong, it's just your kind of route, isn't it? Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you out with my little intro. And then I will see you in the next one. I know it's weird playing you out with the intro, but what I wanted to do is make sure that everyone was in the chat so they can actually see the intro. If I put the intro in at the beginning, the people who joined the chat later on wouldn't see the intro. So I thought what I'll do is I'll do it at the end. So if there's any more questions or whatever, then please do put them in the chat. I didn't fall asleep till 4 this morning. I think putting pressure on yourself to make money fast makes you lose your will. It does, yeah, because you're thinking like, oh my god, how do, you know, how, you're constantly putting this pressure on yourself, like, oh, I've got to make X number of money, and if I don't do it, then, you know, I'm not going to be able, you know, I'm not going to be able to do this or do that or whatever. Just take it back to the basics, and then it'll all come. It'll all just flow in. David says, thanks, ads. I posted on Insta. I was making mistakes, and Sparrow's End said she was pleased. Unbelievable. Like, what? That's terrible. She shouldn't be saying, no, wait, no, you just, oh, you nearly got me then. You just try to trick me, aren't you? Anyway, I'll play you out with my intro. Who wants to see my new intro at the end of the video? Put it in the chat right now. Who's ready? Who's ready to see this awesome new intro? I know everyone is. I know everyone is. They're all like, oh my god, I can't. No, don't leave. Don't leave, Tom. Just see the intro at the end. It's nearly here. It's nearly here. Right. If you want to see the intro, put it in the chat. I know I'm on a 30-second delay, so I'm just waiting around for people to... Anyway. Right, anyway, I'm just going to get OBS up and get ready to put this intro on. Great minds think alike. Go on, let's see this intro, Sean says. So hyped, Corey says. Right, okay, I'll take that as people want to see the intro. So, it's goodbye from me, guys. There's no other person here like the two Ronnies, so it's just goodbye from me. And yeah, let's see the intro. So, hope you like it, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Sometimes I really feel like this. An outcast in society, a half-lighted wisp. But then what comes along is something so strong, a chance for me to let go of wrong. Welcome here to a show of light and dark, something that will really ignite your hearts. Feel no right and feel no wrong. Thursday Talks at 1 is where you belong.